Hey everyone, this is Amber from DSA Threads, and it's Wreck It Regency Part 3.
Oh no.
Today we're going to talk about the stays that I made, which are very loosely thrown upon this dress form, and are over the petticoat, which, nope. Not even correct. This project went way easier than I thought it would. The only thing I think that was really quite weird, off-putting, was that this is the first time that I'm dealing with supportive garments that are not Italian Renaissance. And so the way that it supports is so completely different from that time period. I was just kind of like, is this how it's supposed to be? I didn't know what was going on really, but that's nothing new. So yeah, this is a great introductory pattern for people who haven't done this time period before. At least I felt it was. I'm going to link to the directions that I found online, and then also I'm going to link to the Couture Courtesan. She has a video showing the undergarments for Regency, and she actually just made another pair with the same pattern. So you can kind of see what an expert actually does with the pattern as opposed to what I did. But to be honest, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. So let's dive in, as I say. Alright, the stays from this time period really don't have a ton of bones in them. They've got a bust going down the center, or it's laced down the front. And you've got lacing in the back. And there's a couple of places where there are gussets, and that's about it. Seems pretty straightforward, right?
Okay, so this is the website that I used. I'm kind of dealing with a cold right now, so bear with me. The fact that she's actually gone through and translated everything here. But essentially, this pattern is actually an actual pattern from the time period. And the first thing you do to get the correct sizing for you on your pattern is to measure this line here. And then you pick one of these and you download one of the pictures, and then you enlarge it to the proper sizing. Which essentially most of the time you can just go into your paint or whatever and resize it so that the little box here is the same size as the numbers that you get when you do this math, which I'm not going to show you how to do the math because I'm so bad at math. So once I had the proper sized pattern, it was time to start construction.
This is what the pattern looked like when I sized it up for me. So I cut out all the pieces for a mock-up, and this is my first mock-up. This was without a bust. My mock-ups are usually pretty rough, and in this one, I simply whip-stitched some boning to the outside. And then I just used the just loop part of hook and eye tape for both sides and the back so that I could just lace it up with a shoelace. So it's a little wonky, but I think what I learned from this try-on was that my bust wasn't accommodated properly. This is the same mock-up, just with a paint stirrer stuck down the center as a busk, and I was not happy. I gotta love my brain, right? Where it's like, oh, the first time I tried something, it didn't work, right? I actually really wasn't that far off, and so what I did was I hoisted the straps a little bit, and I increased the slit size on the bust so that it was longer, and that did it. I was like, this is good, now we can start making the actual thing. Yeah, so for seams, I just decided to do a regular seam and then stitched the seam allowance down, and then for center front I kind of whipped the edges, which I didn't really like very much. And then for the inside, I made a channel for the busk, and then I just stitched the lining regular, and then smacked them together and used the binding on the outsides with my grosgrain ribbon. Grosgrain. grosgrain. And then this is fun. I made a little flappy thing to keep my buskin because it keeps riding up all the time. I actually only used 2 bones at center back to keep all of the lacing straight, and here I just stitched down grosgrain because it just happened to be wide enough for me to insert the bones. There it is inserted. And after that, the only thing left really was to make the eyelets. Here they are all finished, and then putting tons and tons of lacing through the whole thing. A lot. I'm really proud of myself for trying something completely out of my comfort zone and, not really fully knowing what to do, but just diving in anyway and doing it. And I can't wait to see you next time when we work on a petticoat, so stay tuned. Until next time, my friends.